Hi, good afternoon. My name is Noel Castillo, and I'm a software developer working for TMAAP. This past week, I worked on a Angular project replicating a chess game. It's currently incomplete right now, but as you can see here, we have a board representation and all the pieces in place. And where it's at right now, you can only make a valid first move. So I can move my knight here, um, but I couldn't necessarily. I'm clicking on the knight right now. I can't move it somewhere where it can't go. Um, so let's jump into behind the scenes at the code. So if you take a look at my Explorer here on the left side, you'll see I have models here. So these models, they're representing the different aspects of the game. So I have one for each individual piece. Bishop, black pawn, king, knight, queen, rook, white pawn. I have a model for the board itself. For a chess piece, that's going to implement a piece interface. um, and as well as a model for interface for the position and for the making for a move itself as well. So these models are going to come together to give us what we see on the front end. So taking the board in first, we have different variables here. They're all going to play a role for different unique rules in the game of chess. I won't get into all of them right now, but there's a 50 count, 50 move count rule, a non-passant rule, castling, so on and so forth. Jumping into the constructor, first thing the constructor is going to do is generate a board represented as an array, and it's going to put the proper piece um, according to its index on the board. So you can see here for row 6, every single column with row 6 is going to have a black pawn there. So that's the opposing team side if you're looking at it from the white team side. On row 1, so these rows start from 0 up to 7, representing the 8 rows of the chessboard. So everything for row 1, which would be, in layman's terms, the second row, you would have all your white pawns there. And rinse and repeat for the rest of the pieces with each criterias. This is going to give us the pieces that we want in their initial starting positions. We have a method build from. It's going to build a copy of the board. We have another one named make move. So this is gonna when this is gonna let you make a move from one position to another position, and there's some criteria that's gonna go along as well with that. So each individual piece has a generate moves method, which indicates where it can move to from its given position. And certain pieces, such as the bishop, rook, queen, they have a slide piece function, because the way they move, it's not just from one location to another location. The way these certain pieces move is they go from one location and they slide to the next location. So they make many individual moves at a time, which is different from a knight, so that just moves from one location to another location. So each piece has their list of what moves they can make. And taking a look back at the board, um, we have a generate moves function. So this is going to return back all the possible moves that can be made on the board. And now we can piece those together and represent them in our front end through HTML components. So I have two major components, the chessboard and the chess square. These are going to be represented on the front end. Taking a look at the chessboard, it's pretty much just generating it's one big board, and for each individual chess square, it's going to give the corresponding either the corresponding image or a blank tile, depending on the chess square component. So the chess square component, it's going to be alternating between light square and a dark square background to kind of give us the proper look of a chessboard. And there is an image source that's going to be dependent on the TypeScript file here. I have an assets folder here. I'll bring it down right now. As you can see, every single image for a piece, it's been given a name for certain reasons. So they each start with either B or white, representing black or white, and they each start with the name of their piece. So lowercase b, uppercase B is a black bishop. lowercase w, uppercase n is a white knight, so on and so forth. So when I'm assigning the image source for every every square piece, um, I'm filtering out for whether it's black or white, and I assign it lowercase w for white, lowercase b for black, and then for each kind of square piece, I then give the corresponding letter as a string. And so when you combine the location of where it's at plus the construction of it, the name of the file, so parent assets images, and then either white or black, and the initial of the piece name dot png, then that's going to give us the image representation that we want on our board, and that's going to go through for every single square component. So once we have that, that pretty much makes the visual representation of how we saw on the front end. And for the TypeScript for on the board itself, every time you click on a board and then click on a second board, it's going to move the piece according to this logic here. It's taking in the type of piece at that current location. It's generating all the possible moves that that piece can make. And if the second location of where you're trying to go is within that list, so this board generate moves, makes all the moves, and it's going to find that move they're trying to do, the from and the to. And if it's a valid move, then it'll let you do that on the front end. And that's how we got our first move done in the demo I showed you guys. I hope you guys learned something. Thanks for watching.